embarrassed, so he's like,
He
"Oh,
already
we
had
caught
this.
up."
He already had this in his phone. He was like, "Oh, finally, I could use that picture of me in the yoga pants." That sent it to this guy. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with mamamax. mamamax is a YouTuber. He's a pretty big YouTuber, and he got himself into a bit of hot water lately. And we're gonna react to a video from Deorio, who just put out like a bombshell type of video on mamamax, who's been accused of trying to use, just say, maps for content. A lot of people are saying that it's unethical what he's doing, and he's also been spreading a lot of misinformation about the cases that he's covered. So tonight we're gonna react to Deorio's video. Obviously, I'm a small YouTuber, so I didn't get Nicholas's approval to do this, but we'll try to keep it best of fair use as we can. But it's just such a great video. Like Deorio, he only posts, I think this is his first video that he posted in 2 years. So
Yes.
think about that for a second. And you know, it just comes down to the fact that like this guy creates really wonderful content, but he only puts it out every so often. So this story was so compelling to this guy that he felt the need to come out and make a video about it.
That was the thing that I, when I was doing my research, I thought about when I was going through the comments, and I was like, how this has got to be really serious if somebody who hasn't posted in 2 years comes out and says, hey, this guy's he's doing some pretty crappy stuff. Slight legal disclaimer: everything that we say in here is alleged.
Yeah, we're just simply reacting to Nick's video. Nick comes with a lot of evidence before, so, you know, but yeah, obviously we're not involved in all this, and we're just gonna do our best to try to make sense of it all.
Yeah. If you haven't already, become a member.
Yeah, you gotta become a member.
Hit the like. Everything helps. Interaction will get us further onto the YouTube spectrum and get us further.
That's right. And we're trying to grow this channel. We keep saying 2024 is our year. Cheers to that. But it's an exciting story, so we gonna react to it. And everything you see in this video is use your best judgment to decide what you think. But that's okay. That's not gonna stop us from talking crap about it.
We are doing the Deorio one, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
All right. I'm gonna get that pulled up.
Yeah, let's react to the whole thing, I think, right? I think that's the best way to do it. Obviously, we're gonna stop. We're gonna make it fair use because we've got to transform this content. And you know, I'm not into just straight up stealing people's content. All right, so you ready to go, Senros? You ready to start talking about this?
Yeah, we're at 0-0, right?
We are at 0-0.
I'm ready.
All right, so we're gonna be starting this video in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Deorio. Before we get started today, I'm going to be clear and concise about what this video will prove. Today, you're going to see undeniable evidence that mamamax is a complete and total fraud. He is a content creator who claims his platform exists to empower abuse survivors, and the reality is, mamamax is a liar. His actions in the past and present paint a far more sinister picture. Right off the bat, this video does contain clips of the leaked recording between myself, mamamax, and Mutahar of Some Ordinary Gamers. If Max has an issue with how he is portrayed in this video, I consent to the full call being released.
I'm pausing right there. Senros, so he's basically saying if this guy tries to take down his video, he's going to release the rest of this call, which I'm sure has probably the more juicier stuff on it. What do you think?
I wish he would just do it anyway, but
318K likes in, or 318K views in 4 days. That's not bad. Not bad, especially for not posting in 2 years.
oh yeah.
All right. Again, if you don't like people stopping very often, then you're on the wrong stream, but it seems like everybody in here knows how this goes. I will put the link to this video in our description when we post this as a regular video, but you guys will be able to come back and see your comments flow the whole time. Isn't that wonderful?
Am not afraid. In the event where Max tries to bully me with threats of getting my channel banned, this video removed, or anything else through
Little
use
nerd
of
city there.
YouTube contacts, which he has done to content creators who have exposed him recently, I will not hesitate to drop our full, uncut recording for the entire internet to see. I will not be silenced, and you will get everything that's coming to you.
Damn!
Supposed to be the one bringing the story across to everyone. And
Coming
yes,
in hot.
In the case that everything is actually.
Why is it my job? Yeah, why are you putting it all on me? Like,
Because it's your case!
One bringing it. Why are you?
absolutely, I am.
Hold on, pause real quick.
Yeah, what you got?
So the thing is, I do agree, and later on we will see this, but I will say this now: if you're trying to make a case against somebody, it is on the person it is on the accuser. They have the burden of proof.
Well, I think the interesting
So-
thing was is that Mama Max said to them, "Why are you making this all on me?" And it is literally, and they said it's your case. Like this is his content, and you can't. That would be like me being like, you know what, Moist Critical? If you don't cover the fact that I made a Stanley Cups video, and you don't promote that on your channel, you're letting us down.
Well, the thing is that it's first off, the things that he's claiming are very serious allegations. So you need to have evidence. And later on, when we get further in the video, you guys will see. I really do want to say this. I do actually believe what happened might have actually happened. But the fact that he's not doing anything, and there's some other things that I hope they go into it on here from some of the other stuff I watched. But
yeah, so if you're not familiar, this brings up a good point. If you're not familiar with who Mama Max is, he covers people who are, and he exposes them online. He's gotten to the point where he took on this case of a friend of his that is too close to it. So he's basically already got a conflict of interest heading into this case. And he's throwing out all these accusations at this guy. Honestly, it probably would have been smart to start with Mama Max's video. We're going to get through Nick's first, and then we can go back and revisit, break down maybe where in the next stream, like where Mama Max was making big mistakes. But covers a lot of that in here. And he puts like this really dark voice on your channel. And he'll be like, Moist Critical, why don't you? Like, it's not even really his voice. He does it for like aesthetic pleasing and stuff. Basically, all the stuff he's done before, he said like people's been like arrested and everything like that, and they haven't been. And he's basically just making up stuff. It's almost like he's using these people who are victims as a way to boost his channel. And on top of that, this new case that he's doing, he's throwing out all these accusations at a guy without any proof, except for one girl who came forward. And he says he got a bunch of other girls that came forward, but they're not in the picture. So just to get you guys all caught up with where we are heading into this, I probably should have started off at explaining that, but you know what? I'm tired, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna have fun tonight. I'm delirious, you know, because I'm sleep deprived.
well, what I was gonna say is that the base premise, and one thing I do want to correct you on is it's not all females, from what I understand.
Really?
From what I can understand, they say they are victims. They didn't specifically say gender, so.
Okay.
I'm not going to assume it's all females. There could be some men in there.
And this guy he's exposing apparently claims that he's like a werewolf or a vampire or something, and he's bringing these girls into this cult where all this crazy stuff's happening. You'll see in the video. Let's keep going. All right, I'm at 117.
Okay, a few months ago, the YouTuber named mamamax asked me to react to his content and promote the massive investigation he was about to release. Max Striker claimed to be exposing a depraved individual who used social media to lure society's most vulnerable
I love his
into
editing.
compromising situations.
Yeah.
Cameron Gerard Davis has been accused of masquerading as mythical creatures such
Oh
as
my God.
werewolves and vampires in the hopes to lure children. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, is what I would have said if Max's videos on the subject weren't terrible.
That's genius.
Talking about a YouTuber that's been going really wacky wild as of late.
This video is going to be on a more serious topic. I'm sure most of you know who a creator by the name of mamamax is and the controversy currently surrounding them.
It was probably me and Nick, and that was about it. You're gonna see as this goes further, this guy is a serious hero complex. Like he really believes that he's a hero.
Then you made the third video, which was calling out Moist Critical for not covering the story after you DM'd him like a spurg a bunch of times.
Yeah, so here, you want me to talk about it a little bit? That rubbed me the wrong way. I spent 12 days not doing anything online, in bed, and during that time apparently it changed his whole framing of the video in order to make it like a Trojan horse of cancel critical, because he didn't respond to my messages and ghosted me.
Imagine. Pause it right there. First off, I just want to give a warning to anybody out there. The one person on the internet you do not want to try to go after is Moist Critical. That guy has such a devoted fan base. It's funny because right over my stream, like I'm taking over Chud Logic stream, and it looks like I'm in Chud Logic. I'm Chud Logic. All right, let's get back to this video. I'm at 237. You ready?
Anthony Fantano just watching this like that.
You provided evidence that was some girl's testimony, and 4 girls, if not 5, came out with their testimony against you.
What I'm saying is the burden of proof is on them, and they didn't provide any.
And it just seems like a dramatized, embellished story. And then this person's talking about it and just saying insane things.
Look at the hand movements. He thinks he's like actually the Punisher,
So pathetic.
Max released 3 videos that provide essentially nothing in the form of evidence. The average person can't follow anything he's released so far, and more time was spent responding to critics than providing actionable proof that content creators could use to condemn Cameron Gerard Davis. In fact, after Max threatened me privately for not reacting to his unwatchable video on my main YouTube channel,
just to reiterate that they said something that made me actually really happy. The fact that they reiterate that the burden of proof is on mamamax.
It's his case.
I'm not calling him mamamax this whole time. I will be referring to him as Max because
it's a weird name. He changed his name to God Cult at one point,
Yes,
and he released his biggest video.
Get into that later.
Yeah, but I thought God Cult's a cool name, but you should have started with it. You know.
To me, listening to all of it, it kind of well, we'll get into it when it gets into it. Let's keep going.
All right, I'm at 327.
I cataloged my 10 hours of research publicly in the form of 2 live streams, and my results were astounding. All right, we're 2 hours in this. We're 2 hours in right now. Realistically, we're another hour and a half on top of our 4.5 hours in. So we're at like the 6-hour mark of understanding what's going on here. And I will point out to you, now that we've hit the 6-hour mark, that I still don't know what Cameron Gerard Davis has done. And spoiler alert, when we hit the 8-hour mark or the 10-hour mark, I don't know how far we're gonna go. We're still not gonna know. After 10 grueling hours investigating this vampire werewolf cult, I realized I've learned essentially nothing about Cameron Gerard Davis, the accused.
On March 18th, 2016, Spencer, a girl from Wiley, Texas, mysteriously
I'm at 413.
All right, I'm at 416. Go ahead. What do you got?
I'm going to clear this up right here and now. I do know what he's accused of.
Cameron Gerard Davis or
Cameron Gerard Davis. I know exactly what he's accused of from all the research that I've done. The basic gist of it is among the unwanted giving away of bodies.
That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar why we're being so coy with our phrasing, it's because we don't want to violate YouTube TOS. I guess so. Just try to read between the lines with what we say.
That, and from what I understand, I am going to say this because it's very important. He's also being accused of, for Spencer, having forced her to have miscarriages.
Wow. Yeah, so I just want to point out, just to play devil's advocate, I don't think Nick doesn't know what's actually going on with mamamax. I think he was pointing out that he's been watching this video for so long and mamamax hasn't even made an accusation yet.
No, I just wanted, so that way when you put this in video form or whatever, that this is what he's being accused of, instead of people watching all the way through going, I still don't understand.
Yeah.
He is being accused of this and doing it to multiple other people.
Yep.
They, the other things that they go into, I have seen are not terms of service safe, so I can't talk about that. But it's some pretty heinous and very, very bad, enters into CP territory.
Yeah, I definitely think that this guy is not mamamax. The guy that he's covering is like a total creep. The problem is that the way that mamamax is covering it is not exposing anything. He's not presenting any evidence. If anything, he's giving this guy an opportunity to file slander charges against mamamax, and that's where the whole problem is. So mamamax is probably in over his head, so he's calling out all these other creators.
Appeared, lured by the illusion of joining a super.
That's his voice.
As a vampire on some random corner of the internet, she actually found herself ensnared in a dangerous cult led by a predator posing as a werewolf god.
Try to contain yourself, ladies. All right, I know that guy is like just slaying it with the women, but you know, what is not the love? I'll tell you what, the one thing TikTok has brought us. It has brought us people who have literally zero shame about presenting themselves however they want online. I would say like TikTok is like the Skid Row of the internet. Where you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I do want to give a slight devil's advocate. I don't see a problem with people being themselves. I find a problem when they're doing it and then trying to promote other people to do it and just making a whole cluster of people that don't know any better.
Provides without a shadow of a doubt that this might just be a video of a black man roaring like a wolf with fake vampire teeth in his mouth. Along with this compelling evidence, we also know details about his family, including his mother's name for some reason.
This video is for... I would like to extend my most heartfelt apology that this is how you have to find all of this out. But the fact of the matter is, your son, Camden Gerard Davis, has been victimizing hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of minors.
You started to like direct your chat to tell them to go reach out to the mom and to the brother to find out information about Camden. Is that that's true, right?
I guess so.
You don't have any proof that they're even involved, right?
Correct. Thank you all for joining the stream and participating in this conversation. We'll see you probably never again.
Do you see what just happened right there, Sen?
Yes, I do.
What did you see? And then I'll give you my perspective of what I saw.
So what I see is him basically doxing his mom, and also I saw that his chat revenue and things, which is a whole sideshow of another rabbit hole of this whole ordeal.
Well, the reason I stopped it was because he said you called their mom, you called their brother. What if someone called you and asked you, like, I'm not sure if you have siblings or not, Senators, but like if someone called you to get dirt on them to make an exposed video, would that seem like a good idea?
So depending on how it goes, basically what I'm going to put it into more layman's terms. If somebody were to call me about you and say, hey, what kind of dirt do you have on Philly? Is that like a cool thing to do, or should it even be done? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, to be honest with you.
I know because first off, I don't know these people.
Not only that, but you're not even sure if this guy really did this. The only evidence you have is that your friend told you this.
Mm-hmm.
Why his serious allegations were so over-dramatized and hard to understand, this was his answer.
What even is this?
So, the mamamax universe was a cautionary tale that takes place in the dystopian future, where child predators have seized global power, exploiting the digital landscape to entrench their rule. Rising from the ashes of a society that failed to protect its most vulnerable, the children emerged. A covert network of vigilantes inspired by the style of Hotline Miami. Once victims, they are now hunters of the monsters who hurt children. They form a structured rebellion, seeking to dismantle the predatory hierarchy.
Yeah, I'm sure that helped everyone out. Max claims to be advising and protecting the 8 known victims out of Cameron's hundreds of potential abuse survivors, and yet we know next to nothing about him or really them. You can hear some spoken word testimony on a separate YouTube channel that was created by Spencer. Who is Spencer, you ask? A survivor who is now living with Mama Max.
I offered.
What do you think of that, Senators?
All right, I got a little too into it.
So the girl that's making the accusations against this guy is living with Mama Max. How does that look?
So right there's your first conflict of interest. Somebody keep track of can we get a counter up for conflict of interest?
A conflict of interest counter? I like it.
Yeah, throw that into a post edit. But no, it's a conflict of interest because now how do you, again, this goes back to burden of proof. If you take this to court and then you're like, oh yeah, well she's been living with me. Well, I mean, she's been living with you. You have a connection. You have no grounds because everything you have is hearsay.
I just want to first point out that we're not saying that this girl didn't go through anything rough, all right? We are simply saying that we're at a point in time now in our society where accusations can ruin people's lives without any proof. Somebody can come out who I've never met before and say I've done horrible things to them, and then can get canceled just from people not believing that I've never met this person. You know what I mean? Take, for instance, the Dream thing that just took place, right? Everybody was ready to cancel Dream, and he came out with a rebuttal video where he did a really great job gathering evidence, showing people why this girl was lying, and he was vindicated. So that it's too easy for people to do this to people now. Like, if you don't like someone, you could literally come out and make false accusations about them and destroy their life.
So what I want to add is we've come to a point to kind of, again, put it in layman's terms. It used to be you were innocent until proven guilty. Now it's the job of the innocent to prove they're not guilty.
Yeah. And
if they can't, then you're automatically assumed to be guilty. No matter, you could have extenuating circumstances, and then you have the bleeding hearts too. People who don't care about the evidence, they automatically will assume.
There's so many people on the internet who will believe the first topic, like the first headline they read about anything, and then they'll just stay with that no matter what kind of evidence is brought forward after. So lot of times people will just be the first to come forward with a story, and then they will end up making it so that nobody else can rebut it because they were the first ones, and people saw the first story, decided this is right, this is factual, oh my god, I can't believe they did something like this, and then never changed their mind about it going forward.
And if I remember correctly, later on in the video itself, he even says, you know, Mama Max isn't giving anything to help these YouTubers who go based off facts. Then he's mad that they're not making videos because they don't want to just go off hearsay.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but when you tune in, like, Moist Critical does cover some tough stuff, but for the most part, like, Moist Critical responds to, like, a guy pooping during a fight or something like that. You know, he doesn't, not everybody wants to tackle these types of topics nonstop. Because, like,
the world's already a crappy place. We don't need to add to it.
Yeah, I don't think you should be hitting up a YouTuber that's known for comedy to talk about, you know, a very serious topic like that. Like, if that's what your bread and butter is, great for you. But you can't call out PewDiePie, who's famous for playing Goat Simulator, to talk about like serious real life issues and expect their fans to be like really stoked about it. Like, these are brands, these are companies. Like, that would be like asking Coke to come forward and give a statement on, you know, Jim Beam.
Pepsi.
Yeah, well, they're too close to each other, so that would make sense. Like, if you asked, like, Chris, who's the guy who did To Catch a Predator? Chris Hansen. If you asked him about it, that would make sense, because that's what he's known for.
Okay, better analogy. It's like Coca-Cola coming out and asking McDonald's about their hamburgers.
Yeah, like, why the hell, like, why does Coke care?
Because it felt like the perfect storm. Like, it felt like, okay, clearly this is happening for a reason. I figured if I can just document the prime subject of my documentary, then why not just have her live with me? And since she needed a home.
Don't worry, he's hoping Spencer will be financially independent soon.
That's not to say it's going to be permanent. I do want to get Spencer to become independent at some point. We're going to get all her medical stuff done, for basically everything. Like, you need to learn how to drive, we're going to do that.
But for some reason, the strapping young roommates decided to post a 4-hour podcast. Unfortunately for the both of them, the biggest takeaway from that podcast is that Max himself is being investigated by the FBI.
I literally got a card on my front fence from the FBI. They didn't even bother contacting you.
No.
That shows how much more they care about my case than yours.
And Spencer potentially admitted to a crime.
Did you ever recruit?
Yes. So my particular recruitment style, go on Whisper and post about, if you want to join a family dynamic, hit me up on Kick. There was one time he did have me lure a girl, like, physically.
That sounds fucking illegal. I lured a girl physically.
This girl's literally admitting to being like a kind of a boomer, but just switch down the words a little bit, and doing illegal stuff while she was with this cult.
So one of the other videos I saw about this, they made a very good point. Before you had her on here doing the interview, you should have talked about anything other than that, because now if she gets taken to court, they can pull this footage and she just blatantly admits to it.
Yeah, I feel like
that's admissible in court.
Yeah, it is, but I feel like the court would probably be like, I don't know why you would do something like that. Shame on you, lady, but we're trying to catch this other guy. I think that...
I mean, the case is against her is what I mean.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue here is that we need B to start going around and starting to invite people into our...
Oh yeah,
we need B out there doing like what this girl did, being like, you want to join a very supportive community?
But you'd like to join a very supportive and calm community.
Yeah, you would like pictures of Senros? Join the Discord.
Wait, hold up. hold up.
He's our handsome face that we bring in to keep people in the Discord.
Got an Uber and went and picked this girl up from like 30 minutes away from us, and she was like 13 or 14, and he kept trying to convince me to convince her to have sex with him, and I was like, no. Thankfully, her parents got her the next day.
What the fuck?
Me and Kayla are pretty sure
Listen, Max.
I love
went
his
over
face.
there and he raped her after I was with my foster parents.
When your victim is going to talk about something where they're potentially implicating themselves in a crime, I mean, I don't know what age they were at the time, but regardless, like, you should absolutely be seeking legal advice before you even think about bringing this up.
You said that, Senator.
Why this was uploaded at all, I will not understand. If anything, they're creating a defamation case for the man they hope to put in prison. Mama Max has chose to make a schizophrenic ARG adventure instead of a detailed allegation video with supporting evidence, so he can help protect and support women who put their trust in him.
Honestly, you do understand, if you go to court, they can pull these live streams for court. You do know that, right?
I love
We are
this
not going to
girl's
court,
southern
Tyler.
twang.
So what are you doing? Just hunting them down like a deer? Is that what we're doing?
Have you not been listening this stream? So when we reached out to the lawyer, he told us it would not be beneficial to pursue a case against Camden Gerard Davis because he likely does not have substantial assets. So he recommended that we all go in person.
So you can, okay, so you do plan to go to police, right?
Of course.
If you go to police and they say, okay, yay, we're going to go get him or whatever, I don't know, live in a dreamland, whatever you want to feel. Are you going to court after that?
I'm unsure about the entire process. I think that's the job of the district attorney, but the survivors would likely appear as witnesses.
What bothers me is your answer right there. You've been doing this for 5 years and you don't know how the process goes? How many people have you actually caught?
I've never been to court.
Mama Max claims to have hunted predators for years, but it is more than evident that he has no idea what he's doing, and now his past has begun to come under fire.
So this guy's never been to court, but he's trying to expose predators. This is probably why this guy's setting himself into such a position to be sued for defamation.
Yeah.
Being the face of defeating, predators, and he doesn't even know how the court system works.
See, this is why I watch tons of videos, one of them being a lawyer, and he has said a million times, if you're going to talk about stuff online, you need to talk to a lawyer first and heed what they say. Because if you're not going to, and even in this case, I don't know how the system works.
Yeah.
If you don't know how the system works, then why are you just coming on here trying to say, oh, well, we did this, we did that? Well,
because I gotta give views. And can I just point out how much of a try-hard thing it is that he got the analytics for his video up while he's streaming?
Yes, I hate that he has that up.
That's such a try-hard thing to do.
I'm just gonna say it now. Somebody did the math, and after all of this, he says all this money is going to help Spencer, but he's making almost at the very least. $16,000 a year, which isn't a whole lot, but for
he's
somebody
probably making
like that,
he probably makes that well before a year, man. He probably makes that a month with the amount of views
based
he
off
gets.
of his Patreon stats and everything. But you can't tell, he's making money off of this.
Yeah,
And
not to
I
mention,
don't-
like, you bring up a great point, Senros, because now this is more like, why wouldn't girls come forward with these allegations if they know that it's going to get them a bag,
Well, not even that. I want to see the receipts.
Yeah, where does
I
that
want
money
to see
go?
the papers about where all that money is going.
I think Nick actually said something about that in the future.
The question is like, the Nick's getting at is like, okay, so you want to enact this change. What do you hope is the eventual result of your video?
Okay.
Of all this.
So I know there's people out there saying I'm doing it to self-serve. I just want my video back up. I don't give a shit if my video comes back up. It did what it needed to do. The rapist that was in the video is currently in police custody.
Was that as a result of your video, or was that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because of the video.
I'm so sick of having predators that run away like Pablo Sonny and we don't get them. I am investing all of me into you and the survivor, Spencer, because
Mama Max claims he needs help from all of these YouTubers, from, checks notes, Joe Rogan to Anthony Fantano, yet he refuses to accept any form of criticism with a subject matter that matters, and participants who deserve better.
Look, I want to see this asshole, and if what you're saying is 100% true, I want to see this motherfucker behind bars. But there's a way to present this, there's a way to handle this before you get to that point, right? And that's what we need to be focusing on. That's like where everything needs to be centered on. It is where I'm at, and that's all I really can say about the situation.
I would have really appreciated this like 2 months ago when we first reached out. I reached out to you and multiple other creators asking for help, and none of you were responsive. I understand y'all are busy and doing your own things, but this is the first time I've ever handled a case of this complexity and magnitude, and that is why I was asking for help. To those of you who are saying I was putting the blame on Muda, I am not, but I do acknowledge that I need help with this case. That was my point. And
The first thing we definitely need to discuss is Max's failures in his current ongoing investigation. And these are failures, by the way. The vast majority of help that Max has been able to provide with his deep skill set and large platform is a botched social media campaign called #WeAreReal. The reason I cite this as a failure is simple. Nobody knows anything about the cult that Max claims to be exposing. In fact, I've referred to Camden Gerard Davis as Cameron throughout the previous previous 10 minutes of this video, and I guarantee that most people outside of content creators who've covered the story didn't even realize that. As we've touched on previously, Mama Max has moved in with one of the many girls that he's currently assisting, but records show that doesn't always seem to have been the plan.
I want to actually answer some questions about like why we're doing donations through my Patreon rather than a GoFundMe. That is because I'm contractually obligated to see this case through and make sure Spencer is taken care of. Spencer is moving over to me in a couple of days actually, and we're gonna find her own place, and I will be paying for all of it.
So how is he contractually obligated to take care of this girl? Like, how can you be contractually obligated to see this case through?
So I agree with you. So let's clarify something using a slight debate format. What do you consider to be contractually obligated?
Like, if you don't do something, then you have to, cover the damages from you not achieving whatever that was that you signed up for. Like honoring an agreement, basically.
Okay, so we can agree on that. So with that, is this a word of mouth contract? Is this a written down contract? Like what can he show us a contract that he is exactly contracted for? Like it
makes no sense. Basically what it comes down to, it makes zero sense.
Actually, where we're paused at has a really good thing. In his live stream, he says twice he's contractually obligated to financially support Spencer. Has anyone ever asked what exactly this contract is or why? And if anything, this is a huge call to what the hell? If you have no proof, he needs to give some, clarifications.
It seems like vampires don't age at all, yo.
No, they really don't. Not from what I understand.
Yeah, any vampire I've met's been a bit of a dick. They're always like hissing at me and stuff. Like, that's
something about you eat too much garlic.
Yeah, the best vampire show, by the way, this is off topic, is What We Do in the Shadows. You can't argue with me. It is so funny. All right, I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
How they live together. I guess you just can't fake the step survivor atmosphere. But since money was mentioned, just to be clear, in exchange for this person's testimony, Spencer is receiving housing, income from Max's YouTube and Patreon, and also receiving the clout incentive from Max promoting her YouTube channel and placing integral parts of the investigation exclusively over there. This information does not, however, mean that Spencer is lying. What it does showcase is how unethical Max's investigations have been since day one. If Max sweetening the pot isn't enough for you to get outraged over, I certainly wasn't expecting to find out last week on the Mama Max live stream that before all of this, Spencer was Max's close family friend.
Spencer has known my family her whole life. Oh no. She was in the same kindergarten class as my sister. Yeah. I don't think y'all understand like the relationship here.
Like my aunt literally knows his mom.
Yeah, like we were friends before we were like actually on a case. Like
oh no. So he's known this girl his whole entire life. And again, if we had a conflict of interest counter, it would just be going up and up and up. Like I can understand wanting to defend your friend, right? Like God forbid if like Mrs. Lately came up to me and was like, "Hey, this happened, I'd be like, I'm going to kill him. I don't care what, whatever, because I trust her." Now,
figuratively.
Now, lying is not something she would do, but like, what if, if I want to take this legally and make it a public thing, you can't just go out and say that this took place because you trust the person who's telling you. Now, I'm not saying that this didn't happen to this girl, but at the same time, there's plenty of incentive for this guy to go along with this story without there being any kind of like facts or any kind of like evidence to prove it. And he might have evidence. Maybe he's waiting to gather more to release it. But from what everybody talks to him about, it seems like this guy don't got nothing. He's just mad at this guy for like upsetting a childhood friend.
So to put it into a better perspective, this would be like me going to my best friend, who I've known for 17 years, and saying, "Hey, this guy Philly online promised to pay me $1,000 and he hasn't done it." And then we go to court and I say, "Well, he said it and my friend trusts me."
Yep.
If the court were to rule on that, there would be so many like rebuttals, and you can't just go based off what people say.
Yeah, if you're going to create a narrative like this, you have to have either text messages supporting your argument. Like, you can't just create this narrative. You have to have text messages, pictures. You have to have evidence of like when this took place. It's like way more than just being like, you did this. Like, that's it. Go ahead.
I want to add one other thing.
Yeah.
There is evidence, but he refuses to take it to the police. And I've actually looked at the evidence, and it's actually very decent evidence. I don't know why they haven't gone to the police.
Yeah, I'm sure Cameron Gerard Davis is truly like doing some sus stuff, but Unfortunately, you can't. They need better proof than this to prove that he's actually doing this stuff.
Yes.
So, just to rip the band-aid off, this is not some stranger that Max is helping out of the kindness of his heart. This is a family friend who's getting a shiny new YouTube channel, some pocket cash to start, and a place to sleep. And for those reasons alone, we could and probably should stop here. Max is not fit to take this case on for Spencer. But it's not just about Spencer, even though it kind of seems that way. 23 days after Max launched the hashtag #WeAreReal campaign, another survivor named Kai, from what is alleged to be her OnlyFans Facebook page, was begging for $20. This $20 would of course be used for wipes, diapers, and eggs for her 2-year-old child. There are now legitimate concerns to raise about how the funds are being distributed to the survivors. And Max, I want to see a paper trail.
To support this effort, all donations received in October via our Patreon will be allocated for this legal process. All additional funding will be used to film this story.
So just to be clear, guys, the money is going to make more of these amazing videos and not to little kids who need diapers.
Where's the donations going towards? Not that I doubt it won't be going to a good cause for survivors. It's going to the legal case. Spencer is handling all the money.
Oh no.
I am sending it to her. She is the financial manager of the legal case.
This guy looks like he's up to no good.
Why is one of the victims in charge of all of the money? Why are you not in charge of all of the money? Ethical complaints and money trails aside, I've already told you Max's videos on Camden are hard to follow. I've showed you an example of how Max responds to criticism as well. Now let's take a closer look at the actual content made for this investigation.
Looking at these girls, do they not fit like that feminist, like woke kind of like when you would think of like a feminist woke girl who's like protesting, do these girls not all fit exactly that look? Like they literally look like the ones who would be outside being like, "And misogyny now."
Okay, so
and everybody's trying to become a content creator too, by the way. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out before you start your statement, that this girl wants to be a YouTuber, and what better way to get publication for your YouTube and to get followers than to come out with a huge accusation against someone. Now again, I'm not saying that nothing happened. This is all just perspective, and I'm not saying that she's nothing happened to this girl, but I just want to point out that all the motivations behind this attack are all starting to add up to be pretty sus in the long run.
So from what I understand, again, I did a lot. I probably did about 2 days worth of video watching. And from what I understand, yes, these people are actual victims. That there is proof to, I don't know if these are the exact people, but the people that have came forward have actually talked to some other content creators and reached out to give their side. So these people are actual content creators, or not content creators, but victims.
Well,
yes,
so the main one's a prospective content creator. She wants to be one.
Yes, but yes, they do fit into that category.
Now, I personally, I think that this is just a scenario I'm going to throw at you, Senrose. Tell me what you think. All right, girl wants to become a content creator, right? She's been through hell. She had a falling out with this guy a long time ago. She comes to Max, who's a popular content creator. Says, "Hey, I want to start making content." He says, "Oh yeah, that's cool. Like, I've known you my whole life. I'll help you out. How do you want to start?" "Well, I want to create this story about a guy who did to me. I know you cover stuff like that." It could be easy for Mama Max to just be like, "Oh my God, like I can't believe all that happened to you. Yeah, I'll make a video about it and we'll drum up some real attention for you. And in the long run, it'll help your YouTube channel." Like, do you not think that is a conversation that could have logically taken place at some point?
So in the hypothetical, and I need to reiterate, hypothetical, yeah, that is most certainly something that could have happened again, like we've said a million times. We'll probably say it again at some point in this stream. We're not saying that this stuff didn't happen. But these are the things that if you take this to court, this is the stuff that people are going to look at.
Yep, absolutely.
And if we don't look at it that way, I mean,
like basically you got to look at it from a defense attorney, right?
Yeah.
What people can come in and say on behalf of this guy that can absolutely destroy your case. And right now I just created a big narrative that if I was a defense attorney, I could easily be like, "Look, she wants to be a content creator. This guy, like, I'm not even saying Mama Max is responsible for this stuff, but he did come out and he said a bunch of reckless things that are hurting my defendant and destroying his ability to make income. So what we're going to do is, we're going to sue him for the damages. We don't think he's a bad guy. We're going to sue him for the damages of what my, defendant could have made due to the loss of what this guy's been accusing him of." It'd be an easy case for the judge judge, be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, because you haven't shown me any proof, sir, and you're absolutely destroying this man's ability to make income. Yeah, I see that. We're gonna award you that money. And then all of a sudden, not only one did you just lose trying to like catch a predator, but you also lost any respect that people had for you on the platform.
Yeah, that people need to realize in the long run, and I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible so we can keep going, but in the long run, he's literally, instead of helping their case to put this man behind bars, he's building a case against himself.
The only reason I don't let it just play without adding commentary is because
yeah,
I don't want
transformative.
yeah, I don't want to just play this guy's video. He worked really hard on this. This is great work. I don't want to just be like one of those people who just pretty much steal everybody else's content.
Investigation. Max has released a total of 3 main channel videos on the subject matter of the hashtag #WeAreReal campaign. The first of which is titled Brainwash Your Favorite Influencer Trigger Warning.
Welcome to your programming. Kindly send this video to your favorite influencer.
About a third of this 10-minute video is a criticism of cult psychology, and not even the actual issue. Only a few minutes of the video is dedicated to both Camden and Spencer, and 1 full minute of the video is Max begging for shoutouts from large YouTubers and social media icons. The second video is longer, 25 minutes, and it's predominantly a response by Max to his critics.
Your profile picture already speaks volumes about where you're coming from.
In it, Max complains about the first video bombing, and he bitches about the creators who won't drop everything at a moment's notice and cover the all of 0 evidence he's distributed thus far for the Camden cult.
We proactively reached out to many different reaction channels, hoping to pique their interest in engaging with a topic of such grave importance. Yet the very purpose of the video falls short when these creators stop responding and choose not to engage. Only a handful out of the tons we reached out to gave any type of feedback whatsoever.
Fun little side note, this is actually around the time that Max reached out to me and sent a psychotically worded threat for not covering the story up until this point. Your silence will not be unnoticed. Well, how'd that end up working out for you, motherfucker? At the 21-minute mark, Max throws Spencer on screen to defend him from criticism.
This video feels very exploitative itself.
Your feelings about the video, without explaining further, are noted. Here's a message from the survivor herself.
Oh no.
Hey everyone, I'm Spencer. I am here to talk today about some of the reactions towards the trailer. What I do not appreciate is people being offended on my behalf.
This is the first example of a pattern of behavior exhibited where Max hides behind Spencer to shield himself from criticism. Please note this now, because we will be coming back to it later. Finally, the video ends off with...
So he is literally going through reading negative comments, and anytime someone tells him this is exploitative, he throws it over to the victim. And again, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but this girl wants to be an influencer, right? You're throwing her up there. You're trying to make it like you're trying to pretty much hide behind her. Anytime someone comes at you and asks you a question that might make you feel defensive, you're throwing up this girl to protect you from any kind of criticism. And obviously the criticism affects you because you're sitting there and you're responding to negative comments individually. I always thought it'd be fun to do a stream like that where I just react to negative comments, but at the same time, I also don't want to promote negative comments being put in my videos because I like to be a bit of a community that's like very, you know, supportive of one another. As you can see in the chat, everybody's very supportive of one another. Like, but like for me, I think it's kind of cowardly that anytime someone throws criticisms at him, he goes, well, hear from the victim, hear what she has to say. And it's not even like she's saying anything that great. She's like stumbling over her words. Like, now again, I know she's not like a professional entertainer, but at the same time, like if you're going to throw it over to her, she should have something profound to say that's going to change this person's mind, not just be like, I'm just going to talk about the comments that are like being put on the internet. You know what I mean? All right, Samrose, go ahead.
So the one thing I forgot to mention, and I completely lost my train of thought when we were looking at the photos of those women.
Yeah.
Tell me this doesn't scream out, and this is why it's easier. These people look like they are. Oh, what's the nice word to put it? They're susceptible.
Yeah, they look like they're easily influenced.
Yes, that. Thank you. They're easily influenced. So yeah, I can believe that if Cameron Davis allegedly did this stuff, these would be the people that are easy to get to.
Yep.
Because they don't like the way things are.
If there's one thing we all know, it's that a high subscriber or follower count doesn't really matter how kind of rizzy you are with the ladies. That attracts them because that's power. Like a high subscriber, high follower count, however you want to look at it, people look at that and they see respect.
Well, not just that, but these people are the most susceptible. Yeah, I can believe what happened to them happened, but he's doing them a disservice by constantly throwing them up. And I did psychoanalyze a lot of what Spencer does. I don't think in her efforts to be an influencer, she doesn't want to seem like a victim. Nobody does. So when she comes in and she's talking like that, she's very uncomfortable, and I don't think it's right for him to keep throwing them up like a freaking target, just going, here, take the shot, here, take the shot, here, take the shot, here, take the shot. It just does a huge disservice to them.
I totally agree. And anybody who's actually like have like physical evidence of something they've been through, it can kind of like, it's almost like an insult to them sometimes. If like what this girl's if she's coming forward and this didn't happen and this is like a clout thing, then that's a different story for another day. But it's just
I didn't even read this.
It wouldn't be a good look. What does it say?
So I was quickly skimming through on this Mama Max's failed Spencer. And somebody actually did point out Mama Max claims he's raising money to get Spencer a lawyer so that they can press charges against Camden. He also called Spencer the primary plaintiff. In this case, however, Spencer stated that she escaped the cult 7 years ago, which puts her case outside statutes of limitation in the state of Georgia. She could argue it's a federal case, but federal cases often haven't.
Yeah, we don't know. It's behind Nick.
Yeah, but no, he's right. The statute of limitations, it wouldn't matter how much money they raise, because if it falls out of statute of limitations, it's just kaput.
It could be a civil case. That's about it.
Yeah, you could do a civil case, but
yeah, you can't charge. He's not going to end up going to jail for whatever Spencer comes forward.
No.
That's why you would
he'll pay a lot of money.
You would need the other victims. Yeah, you could sue him for money. That's about it. But again, if there's one thing we noticed they're not afraid of, it's to ask for financial aid here.
Oh yeah.
Max retreading a similar story of the allegations against Camden from the video I showed you earlier and in this video.
Hello, friends, it's me. Oh, who the heck are you clicking on my video? Well, let me be the first to welcome you to my channel.
Now, number 3 is a weird one. I've gone back and forth on this, but I think I've settled on it being the worst of both worlds and a Frankenstein version of the previous 2 videos. It's another 20 minutes of weird, edgy cult psychology stuff that really makes Max sound like he read a book and a few Wikipedia pages and now thinks he's an expert. This one contains even less about the actual investigation and notably clickbaited Charlie hard. Like a predator hunter clickbaiting Moist Critical is fucking crazy.
Yeah, so here, you want me to talk about it a little bit? That rubbed me the wrong way. We talked like a month ago about like what he was working on in his investigation, and then apparently when I had COVID, he messaged me a couple times and I never saw it, and now he's taken that as me ghosting him and ignoring his very important mission. I had COVID. I barely used Discord in the first place. It was a miracle I ever even saw his message to begin with. And during that time, apparently it changed his whole framing of the video in order to make it like a Trojan horse of cancel critical, because he didn't respond to my messages and ghosted me.
And you know what? If there's one thing we know about like people with mental health issues, is when people send a text message to someone and and they don't answer right away, a lot of times people can think that like, oh, this person is just straight up ignoring me. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that this guy has like some serious insecurities going on. Because like like anybody with a healthy mindset would be like, okay, well, they didn't answer back. Either they don't want to talk, either they didn't see it, or they'll get back to me eventually. And it seems like Charlie was going to get back to him eventually, but in the meantime, like Mama Max came forward and was like, Charlie's ignoring me. He doesn't want anything to do with this. He's hiding the truth or some bull crap like that. And again, like I said, Moist Critical is one of the most beloved influencers on the YouTube and the internet in general. And going after him is just not a good idea, guys.
So, 2 things. One, you're right. A lot of people do that. And the thing is, people have to realize content creators have a life outside of YouTube.
We do.
There's stuff happens. I've witnessed it myself. I've had it happen myself. And people need to realize this. If they don't, then they're being inherently rude. And then second off, I think we should basically the biggest gist we get out of this whole chapter is just basically it's a lot of restating of he's not giving any evidence. Here's the creator he went after. That creator doesn't believe him. and all that. So I think we could skip ahead to the evidence against Camden, because that's kind of the meat and potatoes
That's fine with
of
me.
this.
Let's go to 25-30.
25-27 is where that chapter starts.
Will you take 25-25?
I will take 25-25. That's fine.
Most people probably thought they were subscribed to a YouTuber who was hacked, and this misstep was not just a direct contributing factor, it is the reason his video bombed.
Okay, hang on. I just want to explain what's going on here, so that nobody's lost who's watching. All right, so basically what happened is Max, when he went to go release his video on Camden Davis, or Cameron Davis, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, Camden Davis. He changed the name of his channel to God Cult from mamamax, and he built all his subscribers on mamamax. So nobody who knew him knew what the hell God Cult was. They probably could either think that like his account was hacked, or that like, you know, who the hell is this guy? I don't know who God Cult is. Why would I watch this video? So then they don't watch it, and then it bombs your video. Like, if you're gonna release the biggest video of all time, you should not change your name of your channel right before the release. And if you are, you should put on all kinds of social media, make sure it's a big deal, but that people know that your name's God Cult now, and then release the video, than just changing the name without telling anybody. And then
Instead of realizing this and course correcting, the narcissistic man-child in charge blamed literally everyone else in this situation while acting like he's God's gift to abuse survivors in the same breath.
I had hoped that influencers, especially those who've interacted with my content before, would step up. Unfortunately, it seems that self-preservation outweighs child welfare for most influencers.
For someone who claims to be so righteous and humbly asking busy YouTubers for support, imagine my shock when Muda and I sat down with Max, only to be berated by both him and Spencer for not doing more.
Yeah, why are you putting it all on me?
Because it's your case!
The one bringing it. Why are you
Absolutely, I am the first one. I do
You
not
are
want
the
to be
only one! You haven't convinced anyone to come on board yet!
You haven't convinced exactly.
That's
You haven't
because
made
you
any-
haven't been listening to them.
That's because you haven't been giving anybody anything to work with!
mamamax definitely succeeded in getting this all over the internet, because this is what everybody's talking about right now, but not for Cameron Davis and what he did. They're talking about you, bro. But I mean, well done on getting that in public.
So one thing I do want to add is one of the videos I watched, he kind of did an experiment during his live that he was doing, and he for the whole like first hour of the video, he didn't call him Camden, he called him Cameron.
Yeah, I'm not annoyed, sweet. I'm kind of baffled by I'm just baffled by this story, to be honest with you. And I guess I'm still recovering from my snowstorm, so I might be a little tired looking, but I'm not annoyed, I promise you. I mean, I'm annoyed that this is an issue, but at the same time, I'm very happy, you know.
For months.
Yeah, and
Why-
I've had a 2-hour
Muta,
long
why-
call, and I'm
Muta.
not moving anywhere close to the situation.
Muta,
In fact,
why can't you take initiative to talk to other survivors?
Well, I'm talking to you right now more than anybody else.
And mind you, this is after
You're right,
Max
Jim.
broke Mudahar's trust by using Mudahar viewing evidence privately and signing an
Okay, so this is something I was hoping they'd bring up. Okay, so a lot of the time, and I think at some point he might actually say it, but I need to get it out now. An NDA, or a non-disclosure agreement, is not a criminally
chargeable offense.
Yeah, it's not a criminally chargeable offense.
It
The
just voids
worst
your
that can happen
contract.
to you is you get sued.
Yeah, you have to pay back money that you were given for the NDA, because NDAs usually come with cash, saying, because if you just have someone write an NDA and there's no cash involved, then what are they going to sue you for? But if you pay someone, like a lot of people will get payments and they're like, here you go, this is your payment to make sure that you follow this NDA. If you don't follow this NDA, you got to give us back this money. But if there's
Yeah.
no money involved, you can't sue nobody for it. Like,
You can still sue, but the thing is, he acts like if I talk about this, I'll violate my NDA. Okay, well, if it's an NDA is you can't hold up an NDA in court if it's for a criminal case. If the NDA is trying to protect somebody criminally, it is no longer valid. It is void. You cannot use the NDA and try and go after somebody for it.
yeah, and I agree with Jim Bob that this situation is literally spiraling out of control, because this is like a new precedent on YouTube. Like I've already talked about this call out culture on the internet, and like this is like setting a precedent that YouTubers could just call out anybody for anything, and you're gonna be okay with it without any evidence. As long as you're a big YouTuber and you're calling out someone and you got a following, then that should be enough. Which that shouldn't be the case, right? Like, I shouldn't be able to call out Senros and make up a bunch of stuff about him with I have no supporting evidence. Like, he might have done it, but if I have no supporting evidence and I'm calling him out, then you're absolutely doing nothing except stirring the pot and basically creating fiction. as far as I'm concerned.
And this is why I haven't gone and watched Mama Max at all, because I'm not going to give him more views on his stuff just for the sake of talking about it. I will let other people do this, and then I will react to somebody who's actually worth giving my time to. It's not, because at the end of the day, I guarantee you he's gotten a huge boom.
I think he's actually lost subscribers.
Yeah, he has lost subscribers, but people are still watching. You don't have to be subscribed to still get the revenue.
This is the first time that he's been like a trending topic probably on YouTube, though.
Oh, yeah.
So that's good for him, I guess. They say no publicity is bad publicity. And I guarantee the next couple of videos he puts out are going to be like huge because people are going to want to see what he says. Yeah.
Yeah, he has lost a good amount.
So he can't discuss what he saw as like a clout transaction so the audience will believe the evidence exists.
We have evidence in a Discord server.
With other influencers as well.
Yes, you can ask Mutahar if he's seen some of the evidence.
This is like beyond messed up. Here's a prime example of Max using Spencer as a human shield.
Well, I'm asking why you did not directly contact me, but contact us only in public streams.
Let's see, I contacted you November 27th. Max, I've seen your latest video. I've caught up with this whole situation. I have texted you.
What it felt like seeing him on streams?
You went on with Tommy and Lyrics and are sitting there talking to them when you literally haven't spoken to the other survivors.
Hold on, can you put Max on for a second?
I'm right here.
That was snaky as fuck, dude. Oh, I'm coming after you, Mutahar. Stand back, stand back. Spencer, can you tell him what you felt? You are literally just a little snake hiding behind her, dude. That's disgusting.
Can you listen to me?
I love Nick.
Can
man.
you listen
Nick,
to me?
Max is upset that
Pulls
Muta
no
is
punches.
going against him and flings Spencer at him like a rag doll. Since you already know about the leaked recordings, you should also probably know about the nature of Max's evidence and how Max has come to his conclusions that he's expressed about Camden Gerard Davis.
Well, I addressed him as a cult leader and sexual predator because that's how he has been described by the survivors, and even testimonials themselves serve as evidence in a court of law. So to me, that is all of the evidence I need to say this man is a sexual predator and cult leader.
So you're saying the allegation in and of itself is the evidence?
I'm sorry?
So you're saying the allegation in and of itself is the evidence?
It was everything. It was the
everything.
evidence that was already there. It was the amount of them. It was the consistency of their testimonials, and it was...
He's basically saying her
you
telling
see-
me
you
is
see,
all I
like,
need.
You see the fallacy in that? Like, imagine if I said, Max, you're a rapist, and Nick was to say, oh, well, that's a statement of fact, because Muta made this statement, and that...
You don't have to say Muta made the statement. Say 5 girls said it.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened.
Well...
5 girls said it.
Yes,
About you.
After they were in a group chat together for 3 months, after changing their allegations.
Wait, I'm
multiple
sorry.
times.
What group chat are you in? The evidence server with all of the girls?
Oh, that's a good question.
There is evidence in there. It's not just them plotting to take down.
But there was
Camden.
evidence in the other one too, right?
Yeah,
You
there
did go
was
on her
evidence that
Facebook and
wasn't available
post
either.
the self-harm stuff. You did like all those social media messages and stuff like that. That was you, right? Be it not the most important part of the story, clearly, but like it's not like they just lied about you.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
You were like at the social media part where you put like the self-harm video on Haley's thing. That was real, correct?
Oh yes, that was real.
Oh man, allegations
You're right,
are
Jim.
evidence. Our professional P-word
You
hunter
need-
has
you
gone
need
to the
hard
same
evidence.
law school as
Yep.
Flamenco. Yes, your ears do not deceive you. A man who himself has been accused of abuse by 5 of his former friends and exes. Max.
All right. Just in case you guys didn't think this was gonna get crazy, all right? Now, not only does Mama Max, is he flubbing up all the evidence and you don't got nothing against Jim Bob, but girls have actually come forward to say that Mama Max is like, I mean, what's the word I'm looking for here? Let's say takes advantage of being in a relationship or crosses boundaries that aren't necessarily comfortable for most people. So now, not only is he losing the battle against Cameron Davis, but now the eyes have turned to him. It goes back to that old saying, point one finger at someone and there's 5 pointing back at you. What do you think about that, Senrose?
Yeah, you're right. This whole situation, because, I mean, at this point, based off of his logic that he's using, he is guilty as well.
Yeah, I mean, they always say, like, most people who, like, focus on, like, hyper serious topics usually have had some sort of that in their life, whether they were a perpetrator or if they were a victim, because there's a point in their life that, but this also could be like a cunning misdirection where he knows that he's done stuff in his past that it's not exactly appropriate, and the best way to convince people that that never happened is to take the stance on being completely against that no matter what.
And the thing is, this is the biggest problem I have with Mama Max, is that his whole basis of how evidence should work is completely flawed. And by that case, there would be no justification. It's the whole reason why we went away with that system, because it did used to be that way at one point. Oh, well, these people have eyewitness testimony. Okay, but do you have anything else?
Yep.
And it's just, yeah, I do agree with you, Jim. His exes, I'm pretty sure his exes would be pretty decent eyewitness testimonies, seeing as, they probably either A, lived with him or have been around him enough.
Since we only got a half hour left, we're gonna jump ahead to the evidence against Max Stryker, but I'm gonna fill you guys in on the accusations against him. So he had a girlfriend when he was in the military. He had this girl that he was like completely obsessed with, and he would constantly like just obsess. And then he was kind of like the friend that was always trying to be there when she needed a shoulder to lean on, which could be a bit of a manipulation tactic if you get stuck in the friend zone for a lot of guys. But that's basically the one of the main ones that I remember from watching this originally. Again, we're not here to just replay this whole guy's video. We're reacting to specific parts, and I'm gonna put a link in the description of this video for you to be able to go and watch the whole thing, which I highly recommend. Support the original creator, because that's why we're all here. And let's keep going.
What if this entire segment was just backstory for the biggest nuke that I've ever dropped in my 5 years on YouTube? Oh wait, I forgot. Leaked call.
Oh no.
Are you dipping too, Max?
I'm down to keep talking to you if you have more questions.
Don't be fooled now, you haven't seen anything yet. In fact, any of the 3 upcoming reveals in isolation would be career-ending for really any YouTuber in Max's field. I also think what you're about to see will be fairly shocking to his audience of sexual abuse survivors that he's farmed for cash month after month on Patreon. For that reason, alongside transparency, I will allow the next 8 excruciating minutes to play unimpeded, and I will only rejoin you after Max Stryker's reputation has been thoroughly eviscerated. At the 1 minute mark, your mind will be blown. At the 5 minute mark, you'll be thinking it can't possibly get any worse, and around 2.5 minutes later, you'll realize it can, and it is. Enjoy. So recently, people have been saying that your investigations kind of skew the line between fact and fiction, because they're finding things that you've created as context for the video. I think people are pointing to the Discord server that you were an admin of when you were showing it. The lawsuit that you changed the name or whatever. How much of what you do is kayfabe and how much of it is legitimately...
This is an important part for you guys.
Live. This is the investigation. Here it is.
So... the investigations themselves are real, but obviously the films have fictional elements. There's multiple reasons, like for example, the admin thing on the Discord server, I had to recreate it.
Yeah.
Like, that was a recreation because I didn't have the originals. The IMVU thing, I wasn't, I don't know why people are saying like it's a film, like I am presenting it as if it were to be real, but I didn't think people would take it as that. Like,
but wait, you hunt files. You don't think that people are going to think your videos are real?
So that's the thing. So I want everyone, when you watch my video, to assume everything is fake, except like when I show a people's face and what they're doing. Like, because obviously that's all.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, sorry. I know.
All right, Samuels, I gotta get your take here. So this guy clearly just admitted that he creates these vignettes and stuff around to try to sell people on the idea of whatever he's claiming is real without having any clear evidence against it. So he said he's not against creating interesting stories around these characters just to be able to make them look more guilty. How do you feel about that?
Actually, I'm gonna go to our chat and Jim Bob, you're right.
Jim Bob's crushing it in the chat tonight.
Oh yeah. He's showing that he fakes stuff, but somehow the investigations are real. Jim Bob, you and I are on the same page, because now if you fake other stuff, if you take this to court and he plays this audio, the first question out of a defense attorney's mouth is going to be, well, you fake this other stuff. How can you prove that this is real?
Yeah, like you just admitted that this guy, that you're not really, you're manipulating the storyline, basically. Essentially, it's like WWE. You know, that's why he's used the word kayfabe. Kayfabe is like characters not breaking character during like events like a backstage brawl or like an event that takes place out in public. Like, it's all about hiding it away from the public so that you don't know what's actually truth and what's not.
And the other thing is, if he gets a defamation lawsuit put against him, his whole character credibility is completely destroyed by him saying, well, I want all of my viewers to sit here and look at it as everything is fake unless I do this specific thing. Like, okay, but the thing is, if everybody's supposed to assume everything's fake, then by that logic, I can't take anything that you post seriously.
Yeah, like now how do we know when what you're saying is real and what you're saying is something you've made up to sell your story?
Exactly. Your character credibility is completely destroyed. And yeah, Jim, you really are. Dude, you should be the co-host here, not me.
Jim better get in that Discord. I watched Turkey Tom react to this, and he said that each one of these little QR codes take you to something specific that is about the video. So I'm gonna click one of these QR codes right now, and we're gonna see where it takes me. I don't know what he said. It's a guy teaching you how to pick up women, but in the comments, the Leviathans are coming for me. Some solid advice from Camden Gerard, the completionist. So I'm wondering if, you know what? I think that maybe, I don't know. I don't know why he put that there. There's probably some joke in there, but I don't have time to like sit and explain it all to y'all. These QR codes throughout the video do take you to certain places, and I think that one's going to teach you men how to pick up some women. If you're watching this video later on, I want you to take a picture of this, and I want you to write in the comments what you think this QR code's meant to represent, because we need help.
I said unimpeded. My bad. My bad. Won't happen again.
So I want everyone, when you watch my video, to assume everything is fake, except like when I show a pedo's face and what they're doing. Like, because obviously that's all real. And that's why we include like Mega Drive links to show.
The vast
like,
majority of
this
his
is the
videos
full
are
evidence.
fake, and
This is all
real videos have fake evidence.
Everything else should be considered fake, whether it's real or not. Like, if I'm sending viruses...
That discredits your whole channel right there.
Whether that's fake or real,
Discredits the whole
that's
thing.
on purpose. Because I don't want people to know if I'm actually sending viruses to pedos, because that's implicating myself.
Okay.
Still processing that one.
So,
LOL, kind of stunned.
I guess the next logical question from there is just asking, because now it's come up saying like, well, you've never been to court. What have you done? What is the most substantial outcome of a predator hunt that you've done? What is the final nail in the coffin? You're like, if you had to go tell somebody, oh, what do you do? What does Max Stryker do? What's your proudest moment?
Honestly, the hunting pedos isn't my proudest aspect. The thing I'm proud of is
not my proudest aspect. Guy whose entire personality is hunting pedos.
Survivors to fight back. That is my goal.
Have you ever gotten someone arrested?
If I have, then I don't know it.
You went on my podcast to tell me that you've got
laughing my ass off. Oh no, he forgot.
Would you like to re-answer that question?
I've been emailed stuff like, "Hey, you got this guy arrested. Congratulations."
You went on and you said,
"Dude, he
this
straight
guy
up
was
lied."
arrested. It was because
LMFAO.
of me. It was because of my video. And you told me that 2 years ago.
It's kind of egotistical.
If you run with a lie long enough,
that was my video that did it. I don't know that for sure.
It's gonna catch up with you.
But then you said recently that he fled to the Philippines. So
wait a minute.
Was Sonny
Wait a
ever
minute,
arrested?
Max.
Pablo Sonny? Did that ever even happen?
Yes, he did. All we know is that his last location we picked him up from was Mexico. Whether he fled to the Philippines or not, we don't know. We just know he has family
Look at him
there.
squirm,
And that's
trying
the
not
most
to
likely
answer.
destination
Max,
they would go
no.
to, just because.
But he was in, like, so he was arrested. That was...
Pablo Sonny? I have no. I don't think so. I think he got away.
Dude, what the
fuck?
Yeah, because he
if was
says in his
arrested,
video
I
he
have
got
no idea.
arrested.
Why did you tell me he was arrested? You said Pablo Sonny was
Yep.
arrested in my
Yep,
video
he
did
was.
it. Why did you lie to me on my show?
Hero Complex.
Do you have a clip of that?
Clip of that?
Yes. It's in something I've been
find it.
currently editing.
Yeah, send it to me.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
I can't wait to see how he reacts to this.
Actually, can you just jump in the screen share? I'll just pull it over.
yeah.
Somebody
I've been
archived it.
here. I guess I can hear stuff, but I can't see
Perfect.
anything.
That's all you need because the visual is a drawing.
As a YouTube creator, I realize I say a lot of stuff, but never have I ever said something that if someone told me I said it, I would be like, no, I never said it, especially something that grand. So I guess Mama Max trying to roll back the fact that he told people that he got Pablo arrested. Like,
Yes.
after this, I don't know how you go forward watching Mama Max and think that anything he's saying, like this is putting his credibility in the absolute pooper, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what
It
if I?
really has.
It's like claiming you're a comedian and then giving a TED talk instead. Like, nobody's gonna come back and be like, "No, that guy ain't no comedian, man. Trust me, he ain't." Yeah, I've known people like him, Jim Bob, who lie and just it's so easy for them. Like somebody who's very close to my family, like they're not part of my family, but they're close to my life. They can lie so easily. And it's like it doesn't affect them whatsoever. Like they just could not care less about what anybody thinks about them. So they just say whatever they want, and there's like zero kind of accountability for what they're saying.
This is the two contrasting clips of Pablo Sonny. What is your primary goal? Is that then? There's no. What's your other?
Well, I guess the question is like that the Nick's getting at is like, okay, so you want to enact this change. What do you hope is the eventual result of your video?
Okay.
Of all this.
So I know there's people out there saying I'm doing it to self-serve. I just want my video back up. I don't give a shit if my video comes back up. It did what it needed to do. The rapist that was in the video is currently in police custody. And it
was that as a result of your video, or was that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because of the video.
Right.
The video was
it's so over, dude. He straight up lied.
And this one predator, I made it about him and him alone.
IMVU is a game, right? You played the game and you exposed this guy.
Yes.
Do you mind walking me through the chain of events that led from your video to him being imprisoned?
Yeah, so I dropped the video. The end of the video is a call to action. Usually all my videos are a call to action, like find him, and we did.
So in this case, find him meant like you didn't know who he was.
Imagine John Swan, but he lied about.
All we had was his face, and
PDF
his voice.
files.
Right.
And out of that, I said find him, and then within 24 hours, we found him. And then I started social engineering all of his friends to give me his information, and they did. And then we pegged him. He fled to Mexico. We found where he was in Mexico.
Wow.
I don't know if the police. He was from Canada. So I don't know if the police asked him to come back.
As all terrible people are.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if the police
That's 'cause
asked him
Turkey
to come
Tom's from
back or he went
Canada.
on his own volition, or they
That's what that
forced
joke
him to
was.
come back. I don't know any of those details. I just know he went back to Canada and was in police custody for a certain amount of time.
A lot of Canadian influencers.
So you lied.
So that was what I was told through Instagram posts when I was in contact with his friends.
You didn't remember that until I showed you the clip?
Right now, I have 1,500 subscribers, right? That's not a whole lot. So what I say doesn't carry like the weight of someone who has almost 1 million. So when, like right now, I can sit here and say whatever I want, really, and it's not really going to affect my credibility because really I don't have that huge of a following yet. So what I say doesn't influence people the same way that someone like Mama Max does. So if I came on here and I said stuff about Ken Gerard, nobody would really care because, you know, I'm small and it's not really creating that much of a ripple effect just yet. But I think that Mama Max is suffering from the fact that he's been doing this since his channel was small, and he just keeps doing it, and now it's big, and he doesn't realize that so many more people are seeing what he's saying, and people are going to hold him accountable if he's wrong. You know what I mean? With great power comes great responsibility, Peter.
Yeah. B, social engineering. It is in the very basics of it is basically talking to people, getting to know them, and then letting them basically just keep talking, and they give you information. Things that they feel comfortable talking to you. Like somebody will just casually slip out, you know, hey, this is where this guy might be. You know, I've seen him here.
So if in like engineering, you're creating machines, in social engineering, you're creating like narratives and ideas.
Yeah, Jim, that's exactly what it is.
Basically infiltrating friend groups and organizing by pretending to be friends, employees. Well said, well said.
You didn't remember that? Like, this is your biggest crown achievement, that you got a pedophile arrested?
I didn't remember the details, no. I just remember he fled to Mexico. All the police custody shit, that was only shit I was told. I couldn't verify any of that.
So you just got on stream and told everybody it was me, I did it, Mama Max, #1.
Yeah, that's not cool. You can let people know I think that.
Now, if this was like someone talking about video games or something and he was just making up kind of stuff, I don't think people would care as much. But this guy's literally ruining lives and changing the people's lives for the good or the worse. So like this guy, I'm not saying that like these people didn't do what he's accusing them of, but the fact that he's lacked so much proof and the fact that he's just saying whatever he wants is what is creating this narrative around him that is destroying his reputation. It's the topic in which he discusses that is causing people to be mad at him because he's affecting people's lives. This isn't something that you can joke about. This is like, if someone accuses you of this, you better have damn good evidence because it's a horrible thing to accuse someone of.
So the thing that I need to bring up is when big YouTubers, and I appreciate that all the YouTubers that I watched have all said the same thing, they're not going to make a video on something if they have no evidence because of how it could impact somebody.
Yep.
And because I have actually personally had a friend get accused of SA, it wasn't true, and he lost his college scholarship. He got kicked out of the college. He lost his job, therefore losing his home, his car, and that followed him for, I believe, 5 years until the person came forward and said that they were just mad at him, so they said it.
Yeah,
and now he has
disgusting.
No credibility because now in the back of everybody's head,
yeah, did he do that?
They think, did he really do that? And if somebody else comes forward, they're going to go back to, oh, well, maybe he actually did do that and the person was just scared of him. And
not only that, but a lot of times when these victims come through and take back what they say, sometimes people think that there was someone in their ear like intimidating them to do that.
Yes.
And it's not always the case.
This is why you have to be so careful. And this is why at the very beginning of the stream, I said all this stuff is alleged because we have basically no evidence that's sustainable in a court. So we are not judge, jury, executioner.
But I really want. We're in a good spot right now. So this is really one of the categories I really wanted to play.
Thank you. So that was one of the major points of contention. Last question. This is an ethical question, one of my favorite types of questions. In your previous investigations, what have you done to ensure that the evidence you're passing over to police is sufficient to get, prosecution? And what precautions do you take to make sure it's usable in a court of law?
So with Wayne's probably the best one. I mean, we literally had him in a voice call. Like it's like the Mega Drive. Like it's literally us saying we're 14 years old. He's saying, "Yeah, I want to see your pussy. I want to see I want you to ride me," and shit like that. To what he thinks is a 14-year-old, and we verified that by telling him I don't know, I'm young. I don't know, I'm only 14. I think that should be sufficient to put him in prison. But the law says otherwise, I suppose, because
you have to prove you sitting.
As far as I know, he hasn't been imprisoned, and people have been taught. I
not as easy
received
as
an email
think.
that someone was going to talk to the deputy about.
I watch a lot of predator hunters, and the reason why they make the people show up to places is because now that confirms that they were the one on the phone. You can't, unfortunately, it would be easy for Camera Gerard to be like, oh, that was someone else sitting in my computer at the time, and Mama Max wouldn't have any proof that was him. What you'd have to do is get Cameron to show up with a string of text messages so you can associate it with where he showed up, what time he showed up at, stuff like that. That's why people like Skeeter Gene, that's how they do things. All right.
So
yep, go ahead.
I do want to real quick state that that's also the reason why they normally have them bring something from the message, so that there's no way in coincidence that you would just happen to bring a pizza to this sting house for no reason.
Yeah, and Jim's right. This is where people start. Mama Max, just saying all you need is a Photoshop of the text messages and it's clean cut. Thank God Mama Max not running it, because then people could just fabricate text messages between me and someone else and ruin my life with them.
Why he hasn't been arrested, and I'm also actually gonna start interviewing police local to me as to why pedophiles don't get arrested, because I know they all want to arrest them. It's just the law binds them.
The law, bro.
So you've never actually gotten a pedophile arrested?
Not to my knowledge.
So your content
Third
is
nuke.
just
Mama Max
making fun
admits
of
he's accomplished nothing in 5 years of hunting predators.
I suppose
he made a lot of money,
my
though.
biggest goal is to inspire
Made a lot of money
to fight back, and if I can do that, then I feel like I've done an adequate job.
I want to break down where I think mamamax, what his YouTube career looked like. I think he started off doing something else. He probably watched a couple Chris Hansen videos, saw they got a lot of views, decided to do a video of his own on a and decided that, you know, this was something that was lucrative because he probably made a video that got a lot of views, and he's like, oh, this stuff draws a lot of attention. And what do I want? I want attention. I want to be able to make things on YouTube that draw a lot of attention. So I'm going to post more and more about this. Not knowing a goddamn thing on what you should do, not knowing any of, like, not only that, but being an abuser yourself. Like, we didn't even get to that part in the video. We skipped over it, but, like, it went over the whole thing. Well, actually, I don't know if Nick actually goes over the exes and their accusations. There's some videos about that out there. They're pretty easy to find. You know what's interesting is even Chris Hansen hasn't been too successful in getting predators convicted. You're right. That's why he started bringing the law enforcement with him, because the whole first season of To Catch a Predator, they didn't arrest any of the guys. They did an interview and let them go, and people were furious. So now they have the cops, and they had the cops involved. But yeah, even once you get them to court, because it's basically entrapment for a lot of these guys, and they get off.
Well, as it turns out, it was never a question of conviction. No wonder Max has never been to court before. In his 5 years of playing dress-up predator hunter, Max was never even able to secure so much as an arrest. As it turns out, all you need to be a distinguished predator hunter on YouTube is to farm inadmissible evidence by pretending you're a minor and sexting those predators. In fact, let the record show, we can count at least one time Max has sent pictures of his own ass to perverts online so they can record themselves beating off to it. But he
must have a girly
count
butt.
At least one time Max has investigated a predator that has led to an arrest.
I could not get his name, his personal social media, and above all else, I could not get his face, at least until I sent him a picture.
Oh my god. He's wearing leggings.
Yes,
He's wearing leggings.
so why don't you go to Patreon and support me sending my ass to pedophiles, ruining
That's actually hilarious. That is the funniest part. That's hilarious, dude. What do
So
you
what's funny is I have helped people in this kind of area before.
You send
and
your
I
butt.
have done this,
I know you send your butt, people. I know it.
but that does not look like a girl.
I'm laughing at the attempt though, because he put the
Yeah.
You know, he's seen girls in yoga pants and was like, oh, you know what? And like, where did he even get these from to put these on? Did he like have these in his dresser? It's like, you know what? Or did he order them on Amazon strictly to send a butt shot?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But this also calls into question.
Did
two
he
things.
enjoy it?
One.
Did he enjoy it?
Oh God.
He was like, yeah, you know what?
No,
You
that's
like
not-
that? You like that, bro? You know you like that?
I hate to be the one, and I'm gonna make everybody shiver at this. The dude at the other end, if he really did think that was a girl, he was sitting there playing the meat flute a little bit.
Oh God!
After
No.
seeing that,
mamamax,
and then
he was like, "Yeah, that's a nice butt," and he's
Yeah, you
like,
just-
"Yeah, you know you love it. Look at that. Look at complimenting my rear end."
But the other thing is that this calls into question: is this video real or fake? Because if he did have these, you know, we don't know how he swings. So you know,
It's for the
if that's
fences,
something he
apparently.
wants to do, go right ahead.
Yeah, maybe he was like, "You know what? After this, I'm gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna show him my."
But
my booty."
also, it could also be, and this is where, like you said, you know, all of this stuff gets brought. Don't ask B. I'll tell you later.
I'll tell you when you grow up.
Yeah. All of his stuff could be fake. Maybe he just had this and wanted to post a video of him in leggings.
Yeah, what if he had this
But he
already
didn't want to
set?
be embarrassed, so he's like,
He
"Oh,
already
we
had
caught
this.
him."
He already had this in his phone. He was like, "Oh, finally, I could use that picture of me in the yoga pants." That sent it to this guy.
Oh, my Lord. Hold on.
Just like modeling. I could see him in Planet Fitness. He looks like he's at the gym in this picture, and he's just in Planet Fitness with the. He puts the stockings on, and then he puts his sweats over it. He's just like taking pictures, like selfies of himself. How many pictures do you think he took before he found the one that he liked, Zenros?
Yeah. Oh God.
Do you think it was a whole photo
Just sitting
session?
there.
Or?
I don't know. I don't think it looks good this way. Let me just tilt my ass to the right.
Oh
just
yeah,
a
that's
hair.
it. That's the one. That's the one that's gonna get him going.
Worse yet, I think he had somebody else taking this.
Oh, you could. I think you could set up your phone and like if you have an iWatch, because he looks like he's tucked behind, you can use that to remote shoot.
Yeah.
But if he had someone there with him, that's even weirder, dude. But that, oh my God, dude. Like I had never in my right mind. Like how hard would it have been for him to just go Google something? He took a picture of his own butt.
Hell, with all the AI out there.
Yeah, just AI, ChatGPT.
Because
make me a
apparently
picture
he
of my
thinks
booty.
AI is a good lawyer too. So
I guess so.
That I then publish to all of you.
Somebody get this guy's Patreon. We need to fund this operation more. So just to clarify, the vast majority of Max's content is fake. He's flabbergasted that you stupid viewers thought it was real. He's also lied about getting
dare
arrested
you.
to try to bolster his credibility in the past, and he can't even keep his story straight now. Finally, when asked what he does to make sure his investigations are ethical and could lead to prosecution, Max more or less confirms that he's a content vigilante with no ethical framework for serious stories. I hope now it's become evident why he responds so dramatically to the slightest criticism. Max is a liar. Max is a con artist. And now everyone knows it.
Is there a single person that mamamax can point to that he can claim conclusively was arrested as a result of one of his investigations or reports?
Have you ever gotten someone arrested?
If I have, then I don't know.
If you actually watched his other videos, like the one on IMVU, he tried to do the exact same thing.
Because it's a scam!
He caught MVP.
Because it's a scam!
Tommy, did you know that that he claims he got one person in jail, but he won't reveal their identity?
Yes, because it's a scam!
The IMVU thing, I wasn't... I don't know why people are saying like it's a film. Like I am presenting it as if it were to be real, but I didn't think people would take it as that. Like, so I want everyone, when you watch my video, to assume everything is fake, except like when I show a pedo's face and what they're doing.
What bothers me is your answer right there. You've been doing this for 5 years and you don't know how the process goes? How
I've
many
never
people
been to
have you
court.
actually caught?
I've never been to court.
Oh, well then shit, that makes sense then. There you
Imagine you spent your whole entire YouTube career hunting.
YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. Hunting like a specific niche. You built all this respect, all on a mountain of lies. And you finally get called out for it, and you have not prepared at all for if this day was coming because you were so egotistically driven and you were so full of yourself that you never thought anybody would ever figure it out. Like, that's the thing that kills me about this guy, right? Is he easily could have come up with an idea that he would be able to one day defend himself with, and his ego wouldn't let him have it. So in his mind, he just thought that everybody else around him was too dumb or too lazy to go check to see if any of this stuff was real. And he's finding out the hard way that, yeah, people check. If you're going to come after someone's life, there's going to be people who have problems with that.
It falls under the biggest fallacy that we know of, where people think, oh, well, I'm such a big YouTuber, nobody's gonna bother fact checking me. Why would somebody fact check everything I do? Because, you know, heaven forbid we actually have a society that needs us to provide evidence for things.
Yeah.
Could you believe that, Philly, having to provide evidence?
I don't want to live in a world where I need to back up what I say. I just want everyone to trust me.
I don't either. I mean, I want to be able to get paid out loads of money just by going to a bank and saying, hey,
yeah, I'm a
trust me,
millionaire.
I'm a millionaire. I need to pull out like.
Well, it's funny you should say that because my pronouns are billionaire and Jeff Bezos. So if
oh yeah,
I'd like to be able to go cash out when I want.
Exactly.
All right, I fast forwarded to 1:03:53. This is the beginning of the conclusion. So then we're gonna sum up the video. Basically, all Nick does there, like again, I'm gonna put the link to the video in the description if you want to go sit through the whole thing. But he's basically just lays out all the lies that mamamax is. But I think we got the biggest ones that he was accused of. So. All right, so we'll probably just watch the conclusion.
Forever. In conclusion, this video proves that Max Striker is a complete and total fraud. His persona mamamax is a freak who does not help children prosecute their abusers. He hunts predators online as a soldier of fortune. He lies about his accomplishments to bolster his credibility. He manipulates his audience of abuse survivors by not disclosing large portions of his content are completely fake, and he uses credibility he never deserved in the first place to silence and ruin other people's lives. Just look at how he treated Tommy C. The man was Max's first real persistent critic, and during the videos he was supposedly hunting predators, Max took time out of his day to create a QR code campaign about Tommy and talk about sexually dominating him. The stuff on screen right now is completely psychotic, and even more so with the information we now know about how fraudulent Max's activities have been. I mean, look at the comments. Look at what people said to Tommy. Just because he he spoke up and questioned the current narrative. mamamax does not deserve anyone's support. mamamax does not deserve a second chance. This is not a community that can offer one. This is a malicious person who preys on his supporters. He is the predator to them. To the girls Max is helping fight against Camden Gerard Davis, you claim to have escaped one cult. Don't be foolish now and fall into another. And mamamax, this part is me, speaking directly to you. I know you, Max. I know how you operate. My friends and I know what you're about to say, so we have to spell it out for you. Yo, John Swan, drop the bass.
Though we are different, we are all the same. Because above all else, there's one thing that holds us together. We don't like P-words!
Camden Gerard Davis is a child predator that has murdered hundreds of children under the pretense of a vampire werewolf cult. It's absolutely crucial that we spread awareness of him.
Camden Gerard Davis's time is up. He's about to be exposed.
Camden Gerard Davis, you're going to jail.
That's good. I think you guys get the gist, right? This is where the YouTubers all come together and are like, yeah, if you're we're gonna expose you, and I'm all for that personally. I think that's a wonderful thing, because we need that. If there's one thing that we need to protect dearly, it's our kids. So like, I want to just point out, you know, we may laugh about what this is. I think that in the beginning, mamamax might have had like a genuine like passion for like this kind of stuff, but I think somewhere along the line he got like lost in the financial gain that he can get and the power that he got, and then he just decided that, hey, you know, one thing about YouTube is you always got to do the next big thing. You can't just like prank channels. That's why they've always gone too far. They start off doing little pranks. As they grow, they get addicted to the clout that comes along with that stuff, and then they keep going and going and going until like you end up like Jack Doherty.
It just snowballs, and
Yeah.
then you end up turning into, you've gone too far, but now people expect this, so you can't just back out of it.
No, you can't.
Correction. You can back out of it, but you'll lose everything.
Yep, all the work. I couldn't imagine if in like 5 years my YouTube channel has like 1 million subscribers, and I say something so ridiculous that it eradicates all the work I've put into this channel. And I'm talking about 15, you know, like 10 to 15 hour like editing sessions, you know, topic research, stuff like that. So it's so important that, especially when you get to like those bigger moments where you're trying, like you're a huge creator and everything you say people take as gospel. That is when you need to be at your most responsible. And I think that this is a perfect example of someone who got a little too big for their britches and ended up, you know, just absolutely destroying their credibility. And props to Nick Deorio, honestly one of the best documentarians I know on YouTube. Great editing, like all around, just an incredibly good video. Every statement he made, he backed it up with fact. He
actually has all of his evidence in the comment, or not comment, but the description.
Yeah, and the evidence not only in the description, it's in the video too. Easy for you to see and easy for you to digest. Throw it to you, like in conclusion, like give me your thoughts on all of this.
My thoughts are pretty clear throughout this whole video, but I do want to say that, you know, we don't know for sure if he did or didn't do what he's claiming he did. But if you don't have the evidence to back it up, you need to keep your mouth shut. Or at the very least, if there are survivors and stuff, you need to be getting like eyewitness, have things. Yeah, YouTube site sources is exceedingly rare. But no, if there are people that are being affected by it, that you just need to have evidence. There's so much evidence that needs to be. I'm sorry, I had a huge brain fart there.
It's all right, man.
No, the
why we
other
have the
thing I
editing
wanted to
tool.
state is this is the reason why, and I think even you have said it before, Philly. This is why I'm here as well, because Philly and I might not see eye to eye on things, but that's where we can have a good discussion and possibly walk away from it with one of us learning something.
It's better when we disagree because there's more to talk about.
There is more to talk about.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I think that this is setting a precedent for all YouTubers who are big, even small ones. You know, if you're depending your channel on being a credible source, and something like this comes out where you basically backtrack all the work you've done tell everybody it's all been a farce and it's been for good storytelling and for views, you're going to get met, especially with a topic like this that is very near and dear to anybody who's ever been affected by it, anybody who's ever been through it or knows somebody who's been through it. You're making yourself a laughing stock of the internet. And I don't know how he comes back from this one, to be honest, because if I watched another video of his, I probably would not believe a word he says.